Good student, this is Mr. Adebite, your government teacher. Today's topic, we'll be looking at international organization. Our subtopic today, we'll be looking at Economic Community of West African States. Then our objectives, which we need to talk about, we'll be talking about explanation on the formation of ECOWAS, that is Economic Community of West African States. We also discuss 5 aims and objectives of ECOWAS. Then we will also look at achievement of ECOWAS. Now let's talk about the establishment of ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a sub-regional international organization which was established in May 28, 1975 through what we call Lagos Treaty that was signed by 15 West African nations, that is, those 15 West African nations that were already independent nations. In West Africa, we have 16 nations, and all out of the 15, only one was not part of the signatory to the establishment of this ECOWAS, and that is Cape Verde, which later joined in 1976 after the establishment day. And it was signed by 15 heads of state and government of this West African nation. The ECOWAS was introduced or initiated by the then military of the state of Nigeria, retired General Yakubu Gowon, and the president of Togo, President Gnassingbé Eyadema. Both of them came together and they brought the idea of establishing West African organization, which will help to promote West Africa and all the peoples in Africa, in West Africa rather. This organization, like we have said, had 15 countries registered it. Meanwhile, there are 16 countries in West Africa. Cape Verde joined in 1976, but one of the signatories, which is Mauritania, withdrew our membership in the year 2000. This organization had its headquarters. It has 2 headquarters actually. It has what we know as the administrative headquarters and what we also know as the fund headquarters. The administrative headquarters of ECOWAS is the capital of Nigeria, Lagos, but now Abuja, since Nigeria capital has been changed. While the fund headquarters is found in Lomé, which is the capital of Togo. Now let's look at aims and objectives of ECOWAS. 1, we talk about the cooperation and development. What do we mean by this? That is, ECOWAS is to promote cooperation and development in all fields of economic activities. When we talk about economic activities, so every activity that has to do with economy, be it transportation, be it agriculture, telecommunication, energy, and so on. This is to be done among the member states so as to make the member states have a better life and promote the organization as well. Then we also look at the second aim and objective, standard of living. The organization is to promote and raise the standard of living of the people through cooperation within the sub-regional organization, which is ECOWAS, to help those living in West Africa to have a better life, so as to reduce cost of living in order to increase standard of living. Then let's look at another aim and objective of ECOWAS, economic stability. Is to increase and maintain economic stability within the community of these West African nations we are talking about. That is, to make sure that there is stability in terms of economic activity in West Africa compared to other sub-regions of Africa. Then we also look at closer relationship. This organization was established in order to achieve a better relationship among the West African nations. That is, this will be achieved by encouraging free movement of citizens, goods and services. That is, to have closer relationship among West African nations, there must be free movement. There should be no restriction of citizens, goods and services among the West African states. and this will increase their relationship. Then we also look at common custom tariff, that is to remove obstacle to free movement of goods, people, etc. among member states. And so the West African citizens will pay common tariff in terms of custom. Then we also need to look at achievements of ECOWAS, that is, what are their success since it has been established? What are their success since the creation of this so-called economic community of West African states? One, let's look at this. Removal of custom duty. That is one. Custom duties that may come up in areas of exportation and importation of goods and services are removed. That is, these custom duties are removed so that there will be free flow of goods and services within the West African sub-region, and that has been done to some extent. That's the first achievement. Then another achievement is elimination of obstacles. That is, the elimination of obstacles in the movement of persons, service, and capital. As a member, all member nations of ECOWAS have free movement from one member nation to another. There is no restriction of movement. There is no establishment of any obstacle. All obstacles are eliminated so as to allow every member nation to move from one West African nation to another. Then another one is formation of ECOMOG. ECOMOG is a military body established in Gambia in order to help bring peace to any West African nation where there is problems. And this was to bring peace to all member nations and to restore democracy in any West African nation that are lacking democratic government. For instance, it was used in Liberia and Sierra Leone in order to bring back peace and democratic government in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Then we talk about cooperation in culture and sport. That's another achievement. The West African nation has had a lot of sport activities that have helped to bring them together. For instance, we have what we call WAFU, that is West African Football Union. This is a football competition that exists among only West African countries. That's another way or achievement which ECOWAS has also enjoyed. Then let's look at unity. ECOWAS has helped to unite the countries within the community, irrespective of their differences. In spite of differences, maybe different in culture, language, different in political ideology, in economic status, and all sorts of differences, ECOWAS has brought all West African nations together, and they are brothers. They are each of their brother keeper. That's another achievement. Then another achievement is growth and expansion of market. Through this organization, production of different types of products, goods, etc. has helped in the growth and expansion of market in member states of the community. Then let's talk about the apartheid and neocolonialism. Member states within the sub-region spoke against apartheid policy in South Africa and neocolonialism. That is, members of the ECOWAS, that is Economic Community of West African States, has gone against policy of apartheid and modern colonization, which is known as neocolonialism, and they have helped to sustain democracy in many West African nations, even out of West Africa. Having said that, we need to really know that this ECOWAS is a sub-regional international organization. What do I mean by sub-regional? That is, it is not a continental. A continental organization has to do with a particular continent, for instance, Africa, and that one is the one we have discussed the other time, which is what? OAU, even though it's now African Union, AU. Then, when you have sub-regional, that is an international organization within a particular continent. For instance, Africa is divided to 5. We have the North, the South, the East, the West, and Central Africa. So, the West African are the ones that establish this so-called ECOWAS, which Nigeria have to be one of the West African nations. We have other countries like Liberia, We have Togo. We have countries like Mali. There are 16 countries in West African states. So we need to know that everything about ECOWAS is all about West Africa, and it is to promote economic of West Africans, is to promote political activities of West Africa, is to bring peace and security down to West Africa, so and also to increase standard of living of everybody living in West Africa sub-region. Then look at the assignment. You are expected to explain 5 problems facing ECOWAS. In spite of the achievement of ECOWAS, the removal of custom duty, elimination of obstacle, formation of ECOMONG, cooperation of culture and sport, growth and expansion of market, apartheid and neocolonialism, and unity among West Africa, they still face some challenges which happen to be problems. So explain the 5 problems, find out the 5 problems and explain. That's your assignment. If there's any question, reach me through the media. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.